Casey doesn't think that's weird. Casey's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
like he's a botanist.
Plant food. It must make him smart about plants.
Yeah, it's like, why are you always picking on Dad, Margaret? Just let him be his own
Whatever.
self. Yeah, it's complete frisbee with a capital F with me. Oh, that sounded dirty.
Go fly a kite.
Hey. Days later. No?
Again, with the days later.
Days later. Margaret, Casey, and Diane are playing frisbee. They went back to it.
They really love their frisbee.
They love it in the backyard. They gotta have
a big backyard.
Decent backyard. You don't want a bunch of trees and stuff.
Like the house in Arachnophobia.
Yeah. That's a beautiful house.
It's a beautiful house, except the floors are rotted.
They toss it to their dad. They're really not reading the room very well. The dad wants no part of this. And they end up knocking his cap off, exposing his leaves. The leaves growing out of his head, Nick.
It's a plant man.
Plant man.
No.
And then the dad's like, oh, God, now I got to explain a little more. The dad explains it's just a side effect from the experiments that he's been working on. He's trying to combine plant DNA, mumbo jumbo, like that science stuff. You kids wouldn't understand.
It's eugenics.
You don't go to school.
He's talking about eugenics, but with plants. And that was the note I have.
Okay.
Khan!
What?
What's a Star Trek reference? Because Khan was the result of eugenics. There was a war. Anyway, let's move on to what she sees later that night.
Oh, okay, yeah. Once again, spying on her father.
Yep.
What's Dad doing in the bathroom?
What's Dad doing in the bathroom?
Yeah, so should we stay out of the bathroom? It's stay out of Dad's personal space, Margaret.
Dad's got a secret life.
Yeah. It's like, Margaret, you're the reason Mom is gone. It's like, and if you do the same thing...
Rejected titles.
If you do the same thing, Dad's going to have a sick brother who needs to go visit, and you guys are going to die of starvation because you obviously can't do anything for yourselves. Margaret she's mulling over in bed. She's beating herself up for not asking about the plant food. She goes...
She's got to know.
Yeah. She's like, oh, whatever, I got to find out. She goes, it's like 2 a.m. Go out of her room. Oh, there's weird noises in the bathroom. I'm going to go see what Dad's doing.
He just had the burrito supreme. Like, what? That's what those weird noises are.
Yeah. Making strange sounds. And so she peeks in on the door a little bit, and she has not closed the door. I don't know why he hasn't closed the door. He's had to put a lock on the basement door, but he won't close the bathroom door.
No.
She sees him taking a bandage off his hand, and some green blood oozes out of it.
And I made a note here. It's another Star Trek reference.
Oh,
He's
good.
a Vulcan.
Yeah? I don't know why.
They have green blood.
Oh, there we go. Is it monster blood, Nick?
No, it is Vulcan blood.
Okay.
Because our blood is red because it's iron-based.
Okay.
And their blood is green because it's copper-based.
Oh.
Welcome to Star Trek Cast. This is Nick, and we'll be talking about Vulcan physiology today.
There's no we, it's just Nick. Just staring mouth agape.
Hello, ladies.
Getting out of the weeds. Now, monster blood has not yet been established in the Goosebumps universe.
No, it has not.
So right now, this is just plant blood.
Yeah. There isn't a larger Goosebumps universe, is there? Like, these aren't all happening in the same universe.
I think
Are they?
They might be.
Okay, that's a conversation to have later.
Yeah. I don't know. We can't talk about that right now.
Yeah.
But
we're only like a book and a half in.
If the television show is any indication, I know that certain actors play different children constantly. Mm-hmm. So I guess that would mean it can't be in the same universe?
Okay, well, that's
All right.
So anyway, he's bleeding green.
Bleeding green.
That means they're Irish. Top of the morning to you.
This dad is just getting off a really bad hangover in the bathroom. So her and her brother, I think they hear more moans in the basement because she goes down to get a glass of water.
Yep.
But they're like, oh, it's too late to go investigate. But she goes to confront her dad, walks into his bedroom. Is this that night or the next morning?
I think it's the next morning because it mentions that they don't have school for the next few days.
No one to take them to school.
It's just no school. It's a ped day.
Pedagogal days are convenient for these for this story.
I said no school. How convenient.
Oh, you did.
I did.
You did. You noticed its convenience, as did I. So she walks into his bedroom, sees his bed covered in dirt.
Talk about a flower bed, am I right?
You are right, except there's no... Oh, yeah, you wrote flower bed. And worms, covered in dirt and worms.
They should go eat them.
She should go eat worms. So I guess at this point, it's not the real dad, right? He's a plant man. He needs
At
to
this
sleep
point,
in
yeah,
a flower
because we're
bed.
entering into, like, in the time frame, like, this is, like, the last... this is, like, the last chapter.
So once again, fecal matter covering the bed.
Not literally the last chapter, just, like, the last... Like, the end game.
The stretch, the home run
Yeah.
here, the final stretch. Casey and Margaret are out in the yard the next day worrying about what they are going to do about Dad. What are we going to do about Dad? He's eating poop. He's got leaves growing out of his head. Mom's not taking our calls anymore. I'm pretty sure I saw an internet video of her.
When does he, has he started to, like, be like, eat the plant food?
Oh, no, that's coming up because they're wondering they're wondering what to do about Dad when he calls the kids in for lunch.
Okay.
He has made them some delicious green slop. And he tries forcing them to eat this, doesn't he? He's really, literally almost shoving it down their throats.
Yeah, he's like, eat it or else.
Yeah. Like, really hammering it in. It's like...
And is this the same stuff that he was eating?
It's something bad. Something bad for them, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think the kids want to eat it. I don't think they should eat it.
No.
But they're saved by the bell.
It's all right.
Dr. Martinez. Dr. Martinez.
Okay.
This is his introduction. This is Mr. Brewer's old boss. He comes by the house to check up on him. Now, what kind of boss will fire you and then come by the house to check up on you?
A former lover.
Yeah, and then...
And because he was fired because he's not on the board, so the board member, to save his reputation, had him fired. And yep. Okay, keep going.
While they go... Oh, man.
Yeah, right.
You know, I wrote this before I thought about it from this angle. Now I'm reading it and I was like, oh, for sure.
Yep.
They go into the basement together.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, the kids dispose of the slop. But the real story here is Dr. Martinez and their father go into the basement together.
Because he's annoyed. I forget the passage exactly, but he's annoyed that he's there. And it's visible on his face. And when he comes in, Martinez, like, puts his arm around him, and, like, they just head on down to the basement.
Oh, man. And doesn't he talk to the kids and is, like, try to be friendly with the kids?
Yeah.
Like, we didn't want to fire your dad.
But something had to be done.
Yeah. Oh, man, if Mom knew about this.
Why do you think Mom's visiting Aunt Eleanor?
Yeah. I'd want to hear about Dr. Martinez. Dr. Martinez all the time. Jesus. So the next day, we don't know what happened down there in that basement. They don't even allude to anything past that point. It's just the next day. Dad needs to go next door to help out the neighbor with something.
The annoying neighbor who's always asking him for help.
Yeah.
Because he's not very handy.
It's like, hey, I need my sink installed. Come help.
You want to come over or help with the sink?
Yeah. Now, is that anything? Or did he really just
Now
need a
I'm
sink?
thinking it might be.
That's a plumbing issue.
I'm not touching that one.
All right. I don't know if a botanist is certified to be doing plumbing.
No, but I mean, he's just a handyman.
Okay. And all the men know it. I'm looking at this book very differently now. It's not the same book I grew up with. Jeez. So anyway, the dad goes to help out the neighbor, and the kids
now or
decide,
never. Like it's there's not going to be a better time to check out the basement again.
Yeah, let's go into that basement.
Now, how do they get into the basement this time?
Do they still go down the stairs, or do they?
Yeah, but the door's locked.
How do they break that lock? They pick it?
They pick it because their cousin Kevin taught them how to do it.
Oh, this is an expanded universe.
Yes. So is Kevin McAllister their cousin?
Oh man, yes, for sure.
Yeah, and I also have here a note. Casey, stop being a little shit.
What did Casey do this time?
Let me double check. Okay, page 83. So they watched him cut through the hedges in the backyard and head to Mr. Henry's back door. It's now or never, Margaret said, glancing doubtfully at Casey. Think we can do this? She tried the door. Locked as usual. No problem, Casey said, a mischievous grin spreading across his face. Go get a paper clip. I'll show you what my friend Kevin taught me last week. Okay, it's his friend Kevin, but like,
Okay.
you know,
Even more believable now.
absolutely,
just a friend.
So she obediently found a paper clip on her desk and brought it to him. Casey straightened the clip out, then poked it into the lock. In a few seconds, he hummed a triumphant fanfare and pulled the door open. Now you're an expert lockpicker, huh? Your friend Kevin is a good guy to know.
Like how she obediently got something for him.
Yeah, it's like
a good girl,
oh,
Margaret.
Boy. Yeah, I also have a note from Chapter 8 just saying feminists must hate this book.
For what point?
You know
we'll get to it when we get to it, or have we passed it?
Well, I mean, we've passed it, but what was it? Casey will stop being a little shit if she does him a favor. What's that? Make me another sandwich.
And that's just played off as like a little cutesy thing.
Like make me another sandwich. But I'm like, oh man.
Yeah, it's like make me another sandwich. Go get me that paperclip, and do it obediently.
Okay, so they go down into the basement.
Yeah, they go down to the basement. And the one rule: don't go into the basement. Stay out of the basement. Don't go into the basement.
Stay out of the basement.
Never go into the basement.
Just plain stay out.
What good has happened from going into that basement every time there's bad news?
Always bad news. They always get caught. There seems to be nothing to gain from not staying out of the basement.
Have they not heard of "Don't ask, don't tell"? The less you know,
and
the
now
better
we're
off
inching
you'll
closer
be.
and closer to where it really kicks into high gear for me.
Okay. So they go
Chapter 15 is where it all turns around, people.
Yeah. Everything down there in the basement now is bigger, louder, more aggressive. They quickly realize that they have no game plan here.
Nope.
Stupid kids. Maybe a day in school might help them out, but no. So they hear banging. Do they hear any banging around yet?
Not yet.
Okay,
that's 2 chapters later.
Yeah, but they do see a suit and tie neatly folded up and hidden away.
Yep, it's Mr. Martinez's.
Yeah, and we
Why
know
would
this.
He have taken off his shirt down there?
It's a steamy atmosphere. Bosses always take their shirts off around ex-employees.
No.
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 Well, I don't know. I've had a warped idea of the boss-employee relationship. Then from this book.
Yeah.
It all stemmed from this book.
Get out.
They hear their dad come home. That dad never stays away for very long.
No.
They only have time to get into the basement.
You know why,
and he's
though?
back.
Because he doesn't trust the kids. And why should he? Every time he goes, they break into the basement and start fucking shit up.
Disobedient. Disrespectful little brats.
Yep.
Should have nipped them in the bud.
Wow.
It's a plant reference, not an abortion reference.
Wait, but it's whoa.
It can be both.
I think we both know you were doing the oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So they're caught again. Obviously, they're caught. They never get away with it. They're bad at getting away with things. They're
bad at their jobs.
Kevin needs to come in and just show them how it's done.
Yeah, with a paint can.
Yeah. The father is again super disappointed in them and all of their filthy lying. You never used to lie to me, Margaret. What have you become?
All this time he's been lying to himself.
Yeah, that's what he's
That's what he's upset about.
He's disappointed in himself. Oh, man. He tells them Martinez got hot the other day.
Oh, I'll bet he did.
And had to derobe. And then he forgot his clothes in the basement.
Yep, because that's a story I believe.
Dad, what are you up to down there? Like, I understand that Casey forgot his shirt down there, but this is a grown man. Dad, I don't believe you. Just tell me what's going on. But okay, so it's not all of his clothes. It's just like his tie and his suit jacket and just some of his clothes.
Just some of his clothes. Yeah, he's still got some of his clothes somewhere.
Yeah. So, he tells them again, stay out of the basement.
Stay out. Just plain stay out.
Stay the hell out of that basement, Margaret.
There's no reason to go down in that basement.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, now there is.
But he's like, I can't be here all the time. You might get hurt. Mm-hmm. You might be very sorry. That's a threat. That is a threat.
Yep.